This is Awesome Highlighter. We were taught about Awesome Highlighter on Friday by Nancy Shepherdson, who's a parent of a couple of kids here, and we thought it was really swell, especially given that every kid has a laptop at this stage, and there is so much online reading that we're beginning to require of our kids. It's kind of interesting. It takes a little finesse to understand how you're going to best work with it, but at any rate, so here's the website. Here is what you can do with the website. This was chosen by Ms. Carter's son. But you can see here's a basic website, It's a really interesting article. And then here it is highlighted. We can highlight like that, which is kind of cool. You can see here I've got the I've already loaded this into my little, whatever that bar is called, toolbar, I guess. And so I was able to just highlight what I wanted, and that turned into that when I asked it to pull the stuff out. So do you see that? So whether you agree with what I highlighted versus what you might have highlighted, but I chose more complete chunks of information for this particular demonstration. So yes?
And that would even be interesting if you had kids learning or practicing or doing their own highlighting and then comparing with each other.
Absolutely.
What did you highlight? Well, that's, that kind of thing. Why did you include that? Well, I didn't,
You can see here, you can drop down and show all. So, and then I didn't care for the formatting because it did not permit me to show ordination, topic idea versus subordinate idea. And a lot of kids really truly need that. Oops, hold on. So I cut and pasted that into my own friendly little, and this is kind of what it turned into, okay? Which on a most immediate impact permits some of that ordination, which I think is so important for kids. But then you can format it. This is just in Word.
And you just drag and drop the site into Word, that's all you do?
No, I highlighted with, the old just generic online highlighting, not awesomehighlighter.com. And I just cut and pasted it, like you would an article you couldn't get any other way.
All right.
Okay, so so that is what I did. So let me walk you through the steps to get there. Once you sign in, you are able. This is the page that shows up when you log in, and you just type in a web page there, or you just click on the icon. I'm teaching the tipping point to my seniors and postgrads. I have been challenged to highlight from this particular page. I'm totally highlighting randomly. It doesn't seem to work on with this particular method, just so you know that. I have found more success with going to a regular site like this sacrificing style thing, without sacrificing style. Clicking on my little doohickey, thank you. Okay, so now I've got my little bar here. Okay, so I'm just in a web page that I like, that I want to highlight. I click on that, I get that little toolbar, okay? And because I like the title and think that's a suggestive and helpful title, I'm going to do that. Look, it turns blue. You can choose your color over here. I'm sticking with blue. I'm going to add a note here though. The trick with the notes is they tend to land in places you don't want them to land, I have learned. So you need to be sort of at the end of wherever you were has been the only advice I can give you on that. So you need to be intentional about where you landed with your last highlight, okay? And then you type, this is hard to move, because it is. Okay, but you can put notes there. You can hide it. I can hide, and so you just have that there. Yes, I'm not highlighting the whole thing. So now you know where your note is. Now if you want to read it, if you want to maybe suggest to kids, because you can email this link of a highlighted page to a kid or to a class, you could, just like I do in Kurzweil, you can put in prompts like this, like, what are the main ideas of this article? I just was working with a kid on Rip Van Winkle, you know, what are the themes suggested by the elements of change in Rip Van Winkle, blah, 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 blah. And to prompt their critical thinking. Why did he include this here? Anyhow, they're great kind of tools to get kids to more actively read. So anyhow, so I've highlighted a couple of things. Like, okay, I'm pleased with that. I like what I've done. And then I say, I go right here, I click on that little blue button, and miraculously I can email this to anyone, highlighted, already highlighted. Alternately, I can go to my highlighted pages on my awesome highlighter page that I've signed into, and all my stars. Here is what I just highlighted living right there in my little box of goodies, so that all papers I've highlighted from Mr. Naftalis' class are living right there with my quick and dirty notes, okay?
So quick question.
Yeah.
Let's say you highlight something and you realize you went too far. Is there a way to kind of...
Yeah, you move it back.
Oh, you
Yeah,
can
and
move
that
it
just
back.
takes fiddling. Yeah,
Okay.
it does permit that kind of manipulation, in my experience. So, so the thing I am still becoming familiar with is there are several different sort of access points to the website and to this type of text. There's different ways to look at it. One of the ones I actually like a lot is this summary icon there. Do you see that?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's once you get into your highlighted pages and you see junk you've highlighted, you can go to the summary page and it will, once it loads, offer you a slightly cleaner version of that, okay, which I find more accessible. It's visually cleaner.
Yeah.
And I think kids might appreciate that. This is also something they could email to you to show you what they've done. They could copy to a clipboard, which I think is the page we were on previously, and they can share, you know, heck Bob, they can share it on Delicious, Twitter, Facebook, or WordPress. Go crazy, kids. Okay? But it's incredibly, you know, multi-integrated. All right? So, it's kind of cool. I think it's kind of fun. I like that it's right there on my thing. I think I have another version, which is not a Possum highlighter, on my Digo bookmarks, just so you know, and I've not explored the pros and cons. Ms. Graveline is affirming that. I've not seen which one I like better, but what I think is important, and what I'm certainly seeing, is that if every kid has a laptop and we're having them read stuff on it, wow, do they need to know some way to extract meaningful information. So it's pretty fun, I think. It could be from your website. I mean, it just could be any number of things. So that is the conclusion of my presentation. I would love to help you as you explore how this works,